the mountains. I was skiing when I was 3 years old. I was trying to play tennis when it was not snowy, and I really like tennis. So I decided I want to make that my career. So at 13 years old, I actually moved to the coast in an academy, and my parents couldn't move with me, so I went to a foster family. I met these people maybe once, this son. Come on, guys, here's the fun. So yeah, I went to a foster family. That was tough. My tennis club was in a pretty rough neighborhood. I remember, gunshot going off, cars being burned at night. I was kind of petrified every day. I was homeschooled at the time. I was pretty much by myself the entire day unless I was on the tennis court. And schooling was not doing so well. If you're alone and you do your homework and then test comes, it's very tempting to open the books. And I got to be honest with you guys, I did open my books. So I told my mom, I said, for high school I need to go back to regular schooling because I'm not getting what I need. So I enrolled in one of the best high schools in that big town at the time. I would go to school from 8 to 6 in the evening, then we'll take the subway for 30 minutes, go to the bad neighborhood, being petrified, ready to get robbed, my tennis rackets and all. And I would practice until 9 o'clock, we'll go home, homework, and then do it all over the next day. And that's pretty much what I did throughout high school. My senior year of high school was probably the best year of my life. I got amazing grades, I did very well on tennis courts, so I decided I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try to become a professional tennis player. And I'm going to put off studies to the side. And that was the worst year of my life. And that's when I realized that I was not meant to be a professional tennis player. When you get to a certain level of skills and talent, then it becomes mental. And in professional sport, it's usually 80% mental, 20% skills. I didn't have the 80%. So my mom said, well, maybe you can go to the United States. Maybe you can play college tennis over there, get almost a free education, and we'll see what happens. So I'm like, sure, why not? Get to the US. I thought my English was pretty good. That's until I got into South Kakalaki, where everybody was speaking 20,000 miles an hour. And I remember my first English teacher, she was out of breath all the time, and I was out of breath with her. And after 2 minutes, I was gone. First 2 minutes, I was focused, then I was gone. So my first semester was awesome as far as tennis. It was great. My English got better after a few months. I went back home. I played a tennis match on Friday. On Tuesday, I was in the hospital. I got a meningitis. Do you guys know what meningitis is? That's one disease you don't want to have. So I was there for 10 days, and then for 3 more weeks, I was pretty much a vegetable. Could not do anything. I was, running once to the net. I was tired. So that was a rough summer. I had high hopes to, get better that summer, and it didn't happen. I get back to the US, and my coach is like, all right, guys, now we're going to have a fitness test. You got to run a mile in 5 minutes and 20 seconds if you want to play tournaments. Until you make the mile, you're going to wake up every Wednesday at 6 a.m. And I'm like, I just got meningitis. How am I going to make this mile? And my mom had gotten sick, and she couldn't really do anything. She had to be in bed for 20 hours a day. And I figured, she has to be in bed for 20 hours a day, at least I can run. So I'm going to make the mile, or I'm going to die trying. And I was running, and I had my mom in front of my eyes, and I was running. And I made the mile. I made the mile every time after that on the first try. Just based on, I'm going to die trying, or I'm going to make it. Obviously I'm here, I never died. So, college goes by. One semester I get 4 A's, 1 B. I'm like, hey, I can get A's. So from now on, I'm only going to get A's. I got straight A's my entire 2 last years. I graduated cum laude with a 3.69 GPA in marketing. I was ready to take over the world, get a job, right? To stay in the US, as a French person, you need a visa. You need a company to sponsor you to get a visa. That didn't work out. I moved to Raleigh, and I decided to teach tennis in a country club, Northwich Country Club, until I would go back, get my MBA, because that was my only option to stay in the country legally. So I did that for a year, go back for my MBA, same thing, straight A's, didn't accept any B, so I graduated with 4.0, and in the meantime I got my green card. I won the lottery. The United States gives 50,000 green cards away every year, and I was a lucky pick. Out of 5.5 million people, I got a green card. So at this time, I'm like, okay, I got a green card. I don't need anybody to sponsor me. I've got an MBA. I'm going to take over the world. I applied to 100 jobs. No joke. I didn't get one single interview. Not one. That was in 2010. So I go back to Northridge Country Club, teach a little tennis, try to find a job, and I'm desperate. And I actually went to Bob Daly, who's wearing a red shirt over here. And Bob and his family own hotels. And I said, Bob, you gotta help me. Find me something. And I had never worked in hotels. I never really wanted to work in hotels, but at this time I needed a job desperately. So they hired me. They gave me a chance. I don't know how much money Bob gave to my GM at the time, but she did hire me. She did like me. Within a month, they promoted me to assistant general manager. And a year later, they just promoted me to be the general manager of the Hampton Inn Suites in Durham. And like I said, I knew nothing about hotels going in. But I had learned so much in my past that I was really confident about myself. I knew that you could pretty much give me anything and I would become good at it, apart from being a surgeon or an engineer, obviously. And I know that right now. You can put me anywhere in any company in the world that has to do with business, I'm going to be good at it. Because, like I said, you get in that habit where you make the best out of everything you do. So if you need to remember anything about my journey, really, is a few things. First, sacrifices. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Your family is going to have to make sacrifices. The people who love you, the Emily K. Center is going to have to make sacrifices to get you where you want to be. Always remember that. Obviously, the tough sacrifices to make are the conscious ones. And I still struggle with it. Like, I love to work out, I love to play tennis, I still play tennis, and we're trying to open a hotel, right? And some days I should be at the hotel doing things, moving boxes, and I'm like, man, I really want to play tennis tonight. So still to this day, it's tough to make sacrifices. The second thing is you got to be flexible. As you can see, I want to be a professional tennis player, didn't work out. Then I studied marketing. After my bachelor, didn't get a job. Then I did my MBA. Never thought I was going to be in the hospitality industry. That's where I am now. Always be able to change what you want based on the situation at hand. And finally, take ownership of everything you do. Take ownership of schoolwork, take ownership of friendships, take ownership of family relationships. Until you decide, I'm going to be good at this, I'm going to make the effort, nothing is going to happen. Most of the time it's just a matter of you deciding, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it well. Do you guys have any questions? I've got some funny stories about my English, if you want. So I landed in Atlanta. I missed my connection. I've got a 6-hour layover. I'm exhausted. I'm starving. And I go to the first counter and I put my plane ticket on there, trying to understand where I'm supposed to go. And the lady goes, "Hon, you gotta go to gate 25. And I was like, was that English? So I try to find gate 25. And like I said, I'm starving. I said, based on what happened on that counter, there's no way someone's gonna understand what I want out of the menu. So I take the first fast food. I'm like, okay, what can I order here that they will understand, that we pronounce the same way in France and here? And I got a Sprite. That was the only thing. I got a Sprite. So then I land in Charleston. It's 1 a.m. and my coach picks me up. Obviously my dorm's closed. So he's like, alright, you're gonna come to my house. And he puts me in the guest room. And so now it's 2 a.m. by the time we get to his house. And I cannot turn off the light. Impossible to turn off the light. The lamp. I'm looking everywhere. I'm getting the cord. I'm getting the headboard. I'm not going to move the headboard at 2 a.m. in the morning. Whatever. Bam. And I crashed. 2 weeks later, a teammate of mine comes from South Africa. He came late. He went to my coach's house. He said, dude, could you turn off the light? Like, no, man. Like, what is going on? This is the United States of America. You should be easy to turn off the light. Well, it I realized a lot that first night. Another great memory, my first lunch at the cafe. Get in, and I see this big line, and I mean there's so much food in front of me, and I have no idea what it is. So I said, give me that. I mean, I didn't say that because I couldn't say that at the time. Probably just showed it. And she gave me a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. I was done for like the entire day. Could not eat anything else. I did put on the freshman 15, so it does happen to guys, just so you know, not only girls. People made a lot of fun of me when I came back home. So yeah, I've got my business cards here with me. My cell phone's on it. If you have any question whatsoever, don't ask me about boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. Anything else, do not hesitate to call me. Okay, my email's on it too. So if I can help you out with anything, doing resume, if you need a mentor, if you need advice on life, college, whatever, I'll be here. And I'll probably come back here anyway to check on you guys.